At the time of me recording this, it is Mother's Day, so I figured what better video to do than to rank all of the Pixar and DreamWorks mommies. Yes, I will be unapologetically referring to all of these today as mommies. Also, if you're watching this and you're a mother, then happy Mother's Day. And if you're not, well then, I don't know, go tell a mother happy Mother's Day. Also, if my mom is watching this, hello, happy Mother's Day. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into the ranking. So we have S, A, B, C, and F, and we should probably also add another tier below this called like, who are you? Because honestly, like, I grew up on a lot of these movies, and I recognize almost all of the faces here. However, there's definitely a few where I'm like, you're not really ringing a bell for me. So we're gonna switch it up. Normally we go from the beginning and then go up to the top, but today we're gonna switch it up. Alright, so right off the rip, we got Andy's mom. Is that even a question? Like, Andy's mom is obviously an S tier. Just think of it this way. If it wasn't for Andy's mom, she wouldn't have given birth to Andy, which means that Andy wouldn't have gotten the toys, which means that Toy Story as we know it and Andy's room and all of that, yeah, that wouldn't exist if it wasn't for Andy's mom. Next up, we got somebody. I'm gonna have to do a Google Lens search. You know what? I'll just stay true to myself. That one's honestly just gonna have to go into who are you. Next up, we got Lola from Shark Tale. You know what? I'm gonna put that one in an S. I don't care what anyone says. I have a soft spot for Shark Tale. In fact, I actually love Shark Tale. I just went back and rewatched it last year, and it was still a great movie. I think my favorite characteristic of Lola is just the fact that she's so, like, chill, you know what I mean? Next up, we got Susan from Monsters vs. Aliens. Again, this one's gonna go straight into the S tier. You wanna know my favorite characteristic about Susan? She's super tall, and I don't want to go too deep into this because I really don't want this video to be striked with yellow symbols, but all I'm gonna say is that if you're super tall like that, that's just immediate mommy material. Plus, I just love her personality. Next up, we got Roxanne from Megamind. I'm gonna go ahead and throw her in an A. Don't get me wrong, she's a great character, but when I'm ranking her amongst the other, like, Pixar and DreamWorks moms, it's just, it's not quite there, but it's still deserving of an A at the very least. If I'm gonna be honest, I have no idea who this is. I'm gonna have to put it in a who are you. I haven't seen that movie. Maybe it's a newer one, but I just haven't seen that one. If there was a Pixar or DreamWorks movie that came out after, like, I want to say maybe 2012, 2013 at the latest, I probably haven't seen it. There's obviously a few exceptions to that, but I grew up on the ones from, like, the late 90s, early 2000s mostly. Next up, we got Gloria from Madagascar. That is going straight into an S tier. I don't care what anybody says. Gloria is immediate S tier. She's a hippo. She got killer vibes. I just love the vibe of every scene that she's in. She lifts every scene that she's in. Next up, we got Rita. This one is definitely deserving of an A tier. This movie is honestly really underrated. At least I feel like it's underrated because not enough people talk about this movie, at the very least, flushed away. Next up, we got both versions of Fiona. If I'm gonna be honest, the Shrek version goes into the S, and then, like, the normal human version, I'll probably put that in, like, a B. I mean, like, I could put it in A, but I don't know. I'll put it in, like, a B. We all know that the Shrek version is superior. Next up, we got Elastigirl, and gentlemen, can we all just do a stand-up check real quick? We're clean, we're good. Elastigirl, top of the S tier. I mean, I could go in depth, but I mean, gentlemen, I think we're gonna move on, just, you know, for the sake of, you know, us and our pride. Especially if anybody's watching this video in public, I wouldn't want to embarrass anybody like that, so we're gonna move on. Next up, we got, honestly, I don't even know how to say her name. Is it like Colette, or it's like really Italian? All I know is that she's from Ratatouille, and let me just say, Ratatouille was one of my favorite movies when I was younger. She's going immediately into the S tier. I just love her, like, no BS attitude, you know what I mean? Not to mention the fact that you do start to see her softer side when she, like, starts to open up a bit with Linguini later on in the movie. And plus, I mean, she can cook like nobody I've ever seen before, man. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm a pretty decent cook, you know. I can make a pretty solid piece of toast on a good day. If I'm feeling real fancy, I might slap some butter on it. I can also whip up the most decadent bowl of cereal you've ever seen. Everybody needs, whatever her name is in their kitchen. Like, seriously, she is amazing. Like, seriously, I've never seen somebody cook in the way that she does. Besides, obviously, like, you know, Linguini and Ratatouille when they're working together. Next up, we got Sally from Cars. That is, again, going straight into the S tier. Cars was always one of my favorite Pixar movies. In fact, I literally just yesterday went back and replayed the entirety of the Cars movie game in, like, one sitting. But I love Sally. I always loved her relationship and her chemistry with Lightning McQueen. And I don't know, again, this is just one of those characters where every time that they're in a scene, you love the vibes of that scene. You know what I mean? Next up, we got another one that I feel like I should know. Maybe, I'm not really sure. I don't know who this is. I'm assuming most of the ones that I don't know are probably, like, later DreamWorks and Pixar movies. Yeah, if you guys could let me know down in the comments, like, who these people are, I'd really appreciate that. Anyway, lads, once again, please, stand up check. Are we all good? All right. We got Aunt Cass, S tier. S tier. By the way, just for anybody curious, in the original movie, there wasn't all of that cleavage right there. It was actually like covered up with a shirt. I guess somebody went back in and like edited this later. I'll tell you one thing, even though Big Hero 6 came out a little bit later on, I've still watched that movie a good bit just because, I mean, it's a good movie, period. But I can tell you, there definitely wasn't all of that cleavage right there. Next up, we got Vanessa from B-Movie, and again, this one's gonna go into the S tier. I know when it comes to like Pixar movies, across the board, most people seem to like basically anything and everything that comes out of Pixar, but when it comes to DreamWorks, it's a little more hit or miss. Some people like some movies, some people like others. But for me personally, it doesn't matter what it is, Pixar, DreamWorks, I've always enjoyed those animated movies. And I'm not sure what the overall reception of B-Movie was, but personally, I loved B-Movie. I loved all the characters in it. And say what you will about the plot, about like a bee falling in love with a human and vice versa, but hey man, I enjoyed it. Vanessa was a great character. Anyways, yeah, this is my ranking of all of the Pixar and DreamWorks mommies. Now I definitely want to hear from you guys down below. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Whatever it is, whatever you're thinking, I definitely love to hear from you guys. But anyway, as always, a shout out to the Patrons and channel members, covers Telegram, Illuminati Tab, Big Dynamite, Chulupasaurus Rex, Ray, Zach, Polar, Ray, Webster, the Last Man, Chris Purgatory, Dripsant, Milalasking, Peter Benjamin, Cinnamon, Schwab, 15, Flip, 71, Aaron Reynolds, Unknown, and Christopher Huerta. Thank you guys for watching. Have an amazing day. Stay beautiful. I love you all. Peace. JK, I'm doing the unthinkable, and I'm gonna do 2 tier lists in one video, and I'm not even gonna advertise it in the title. This is just gonna catch everybody off guard. We're going to rank every single Shrek movie, and that includes the spin-off titles. Shrek the Musical is gonna go into the S tier. Shrek has a beautiful singing voice. It rivals the likes of James Hetfield, Corey Taylor, Elton John, and Elvis Presley. Scared Shrekless is gonna go into the A tier. You know what? I thoroughly enjoyed this one. Was it on the same caliber as like the other Shrek movies and spin-off titles? Not necessarily, but I still really enjoyed it anyway, just because, I mean, it's Shrek. I'm really biased. I really like Shrek, and if it's Shrek, it's hard for me to, like, dislike it. However, there are some where I could say, yes, that deserves to go with the A tier, whereas others deserve to go in, like, the best of the S tier. Next up, we got Shrek 4D. You know what? Was this literally just, like, the first movie re-released with, like, some sort of 4D gimmick? Because I honestly do not remember that. Shrek Forever After, I'm gonna go ahead and put into an A. I still enjoyed the movie, but I can say it wasn't on the same tier as the other Shrek movies. Shrek the Third is gonna go into the S tier. Maybe, yeah. You know what? I like the original trilogy of Shrek movies. Call it nostalgia, call it rose-tinted goggles, whatever. But I thoroughly enjoyed all 3 of the original, like, Shrek movies. This one, the Diablos. I have no idea what this is. I'm gonna put that never seen. The Diablos? Seeing the name Diablo has my mind going now. Could you guys imagine, like, a Diablo clone game, except all the characters are Shrek? Next up, I got Shrek the Halls. This one is gonna go into an S tier. I honestly have a lot of nostalgia for Shrek the Halls. Every single Christmas, ever since it released, I've always watched it. Even now as a grown man, every time that Christmas rolls around, I watch it. I don't hear enough people talking about this one. It's genuinely underrated. Next up, we got Far, Far Away. I can't say that I've seen this one. Man, I didn't realize just how much Shrek I've been missing out on. I guess I got other ones to watch yet. Karaoke Party is another one that I haven't watched, unfortunately. I think after this video, I'm gonna go ahead and rent these 4 and just binge all of them. Monkey's Christmas, I'm gonna go ahead and put that in an A tier. Again, it's one of those things where it's Shrek, and it's impossible for it to go any lower than an A tier. Next up, we got Shrek 2, gonna go into the S tier. I don't really feel like many people can disagree that the first 2 Shrek movies are absolutely, like, no questions asked, hands down, S tier. Next up, we got Puss in Boots. This one's gonna go into the S tier. This is another movie where I feel like, even though it's just a spin-off of the Shrek movies, I feel like it's still a really good movie just on its own, and I don't hear enough people talking about this one compared to the other, like, DreamWorks movies. I also had, like, the spin-off DS game back in the day. That was actually a lot of fun, too. And then, of course, the original Shrek, the one that started it all, somebody. But anyways, yeah, this is my ranking of all the Shrek movies, so definitely let me know down below not only your thoughts on my Pixar and DreamWorks Moms tier list, but now also let me know what your thoughts are on my Shrek tier list. For real this time, thank you guys for watching, have an amazing day, stay beautiful, I love you all, peace.